All right, good morning. Today's October 4th, and yesterday my wife Charlotte and I went to go pick up the General at Antlers Motorsports in Oklahoma. It's pretty cool. I'm really pleased with it. She's really pleased with it, which to me that's really cool to me, because having my wife and I know my kids will be happy with it. They're currently at my mother-in-law's house, so I have the weekend free, which is good to go pick it up and start working on it. Today's video is going to be pretty short. I'm going to throw in some video clips of when we went to go pick it up, and then once we got it home, kind of a walk around, pulled the seats out, showed some of the storage spaces in it. When I was looking for the General, that's one of the questions that I had and I could not find. Just simple pictures or a video of under seats, what they looked like, what kind of bins were in it, the access to the battery, access to the top of the fuel tank, you know, just really simple things. So I thought I'd throw that in here, so if anyone else is looking at a General or has any questions, you can kind of see. I also pulled the hood off to give a little bit of a picture under there where I mistakenly called it a Ranger. It's a General. But where the pulse bar is, kind of the access you have and the room that you have in case you want to do something. Now, last night when we got it home, it was about 1800, 5, 6 o'clock in the evening. And I told myself that I wasn't going to do anything to it last night. You know, I was just going to kind of hang out with my wife and have an easy evening. And that lasted approximately 3 hours. As you'll see here in a little while, I've already started pulling things apart to gain access, so I can kind of plan out what I'm going to do in what order. My thought process right now is to run the power cables going to go up through the center console to the amplifiers, and then to install the heater system in the rear bench seat. Also to do the sound deadening on the back wall and in the center console, the sound deadening and the heat deadening, the foam heat material I'm going to put in there. And the reason for that series of events is I have to run the power wire now, because once you have the bench seat in, you no longer have the individual access under each rear seat to get to the battery box or the fuel cell. So in order to get to those, it's a little bit more work once you have the bench seat in, just because of the way it mounts. And then for the bench seat, it has a block-off plate that goes in the back of the center console and then kind of comes down and goes under the bench seat. You lose that center console because of the bench. And that's where I'm looking at putting the heater ducts for the rear seat, if I have enough room. That's yet to be determined. I pull some of the center console off. I'll have to kind of snake that vent up over some things and under some others, and then come up behind the center console for the front center console. And I'll have to see if I have enough space to actually get the duct up in there and hooked up to the vent. Otherwise, the second plan would be to put it on each side of the floor tunnel, possibly just pointing out to the sides and having heat, you know, going down towards the feet. Then of course the heat would rise. That's yet to be determined. We'll kind of see where that goes once I start getting into it. But here in a few minutes, I'm going to try to get this video put together. I'm going to post it, and then I'm going to be out in the garage, and I'll probably pull it out in the driveway here in a little while to have more room to work on it. And I'll start that process, and I'll video as much of that as I can. I'm also going to put a video up of what I had to do or take off or remove to get access to that whole center console area. I have the whole top of the dash off. I have the whole front of the dash off. The interior is pretty stripped right now, and y'all will see that probably on the next video. So until then, here is from when we picked it up. Alright, so we have just picked up our 2021 Polaris General XP4 Pursuit Edition. We're currently at Antlers Motorsports, and we'll be leaving here in just a few minutes to head back to the house. Alright, so we finally have the General home, or at least a temporary home until it's taken to our ranch, after I do some of the things here pretty quick on it. But it looks good. I'm very happy with it. I like the Pursuit Edition. I like the camo. It's going to go well out at our ranch. Just kind of fits in with the whole theme out there. And we do use them a lot for hunting, fishing, everything like that. It's pretty cool. I like it. Here in a second, I'm going to pull some of the seats out and show some of the access, pull the hood off, just so people who have not had a General before kind of get an idea of what they have. What do you think of it?
I love it.
Alright, so for anyone looking at buying a General, here are the options you have for storage. Under each of the front seats, you have a bin. You have obvious glove box and a bunch of dash storage, which is really neat compared to the Ranger that we have. Under the back seats, you're going to have access to the battery on the driver's side along with the fuse box, and then on the passenger side you have access to the top of the fuel cell. On the driver's side behind the battery, I do have the Grizztec Liner that is going to go up under here to protect some of this area from getting all muddy and dirty. If any of you have had like one of the older Rangers, you know exactly how bad it gets up in here. Then I'll go up here and give you an idea of what you have under the hood. Sorry, a little bit. All right. So here's access you have under the hood. Of course, the XPs all have, actually all the Rangers from I believe 2018 and up have a pulse bar in them. I'm also going to add a windshield wiper reservoir for the windshield wiper wash. It's going to be under here. Pretty soon I'll have the windshield on. That's one of the things I'm kind of thinking about right now, is the order in which to install things, because I have a lot of different items that will have to go in some sort of a sequential order so I don't interfere with other items I'm installing later. So I think the first thing to do is going to be to run the power cable for the amplifier system up through the center console and terminate it somewhere under the dash. And I need to get that done first, because pretty quick after that I'm going to put the bench seat in the back, and then I'm going to put the heater in, because I'm going to try to run a vent under here coming up through this console, and on the UTV, the mountain accessories rear bench seat, it comes with a block off plate that sits right here. This gets cut down and goes under the bench seat, and this ends up being a flat plate. What I'm going to try to do, if I have enough room, is where that flat plate is, where that pocket currently is going to be a flat plate. I'm going to see if I can put the vents right there for the rear heater. I don't know if it will all fit yet. I'll just have to kind of see once I get there.